This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 25th day of June in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. Guyana recorded its best national grade 6 assessment results in the history of the exams, the Ministry of Education reported today, as this year's results were released. This year has seen major improvements in all four of the subject areas of English, Science, and Social Studies, along with Mathematics. The results show that 69.25% of the pupils passed English language, compared to 66.79% last year, while the country recorded a pass rate of 64.7% in Social Studies, compared to 62.88% in 2024. Additionally, 63.7% of the pupils passed Science, compared to 54% last year. And the country also recorded a 55.51% pass rate for Mathematics, compared to 40.36% last year. Dubbing it the nation's best results, Minister of Education Priya Manik-Chand said the improvements recorded in English, Science, Mathematics, and Social Studies are as a result of prudent investments in the education sector.
Conscious investment, back-breaking and consistent work where we were forced to put on blinkers and block out the noise, and daily strides that we didn't get celebrated for on the front pages or any page of any newspaper, has shown us today that once we invest in our children in this country, they will do well. And today we celebrate Guyana's best results across every single subject ever in the history of this country.
The overall pass rate was pegged at 63.7%. A total of 15,813 children wrote this year's National Grade 6 Assessment examinations.
When I came in 2020, 49% of our children had achieved 50% or more. Today, it's 63.7% of our children who achieved 50% or more, crossing that 120 mark. That's taking more than 3,000 children, actual human beings, and putting them in a place where they could score more than 50%, because we gave them the textbooks and the breakfast and the teachers and the classrooms to sit in and the monitoring.
Minister Manik-Chand was keen on noting that of the 901 children who will be placed in the national top schools, 492 of them are from public schools and 409 are from the private schools. She also said the 2025 cohort was able to succeed at the NGSA exams, notwithstanding the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and its lingering effects. This cohort was in grade 1 when the government was forced to close schools and had been out of school for 2 years.
The UN, UNICEF, the World Bank, all the IFIs had predicted that we would see tremendous learning loss reflected in results and early school leaving, what we know in Guyana to be dropouts. And Guyana has defied both of those predictions. Again, not by magic, but by constant, conscious investment led by a president who understands the value of education all across this land for every single child.
Cognizant of the challenges, the Education Minister said her ministry took a decision to consolidate the curriculum for primary school learners, compiled concise notes, provided breakfast daily, rolled out a number of digital programs including QuizMe, and expanded the learning channel to the various regions. She said schools were monitored regularly, even as the Education Ministry pushes towards an education system where 100% of the teachers will be trained and certified. Ms. Manik-Chand assured that the government will continue to invest in the education sector and effectively bridge the divide between the coast and the hinterland. CXC's Director of Operations, Dr. Nicole Manning, applauded the nation's children on their remarkable performance, particularly in mathematics and science, which are subjects that are largely considered challenging. The NGSA is compiled and marked by the Caribbean Examinations Council in keeping with their standards. More news coming up in just a moment, including the top students.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Chasing a ride that takes you higher? Elevate your drive with the all-new Honda Elevate. Now at Merrick's, the Honda Elevate has a bold style, cutting-edge technology, sleek and modern interior, and intuitive controls that makes every journey feel elevated and comfortable. So, why wait? Drive a Honda Elevate today. It's brand new, 0 miles, 0 worries. Visit Merrick's, the home of Honda in Guyana, or call 226-1482 to learn more.
Today is the day. Sure, you may not have planned on today being that day, but hey, life comes at you fast. And look at you. You just had a baby. And you switched to digital banking. You're finally buying a new car. And you're about to take her to dinner because today is the day. And with the right advice, planning, and encouragement, you can make all your moves. That's why we're here. Our advisors build relationships that are based on more than banks and banking. They're based on life and living. You can set, track, manage your financial goals on your terms as your life evolves. That's how advice should work. Make your moves with us. Scotiabank. It starts with you.
Welcome back. In an exceptional performance that will go down in Guyana's history, Academy of Excellence student Tanasha Myers of Region 3 secured a perfect score at this year's National Grade 6 Assessment exams, making her the country's top performer at those examinations. Myers secured a maximum perfect score of 487.88 marks, which will be only the second time in the country's history that a student has attained full marks in the assessment, which covers the subjects of English language, mathematics, social studies, and science. The 10-year-old who aspires to be a lawyer told reporters that the announcement that she topped the entire country took her by surprise.
I was surprised.
Her mother, Tiffany Daniels, said she's overwhelmed with joy.
Well, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overjoyed. I couldn't be more proud. Well, we worked hard. She worked hard. Sometimes we would work probably past midnight. Sometimes, yeah, we worked hard, and she made us proud.
Copying the second spot is Kalissa Hempersad, a student of the Histudaran Primary School. She secured an almost perfect score, getting 487 marks in the national examinations. Three children, Christian Ramsey, Michaela Sammy, and Sandia Swami, came in third after scoring 486.96 marks. Declaring that she believes in Jesus Christ, Michaela Sammy of the Stella Maris Primary School said she could not have done it without the grace of God and the support of her parents and her teachers.
It was a balance between hard work and play. I don't believe in all those long hours, and I don't believe in that.
Her mother, Debbie Sammy, told News Source that her remarkable success at this year's exams came as no surprise.
I'm so proud of her.
Very proud.
Yeah. I mean, we expected this because she worked really hard. So we expect her to do well.
And her father, Michael Sammy, added that his daughter overcame a lot of challenges to arrive at the position. He said she received tremendous support from her grandfather, Michael Sammy Sr., and her teacher, Renee Clark, who worked tirelessly with her. Leah Hill of the New Guyana School came in sixth with 486.91 marks, and she said she's thankful. The 12-year-old said studying was a bit difficult, but with the help of God and her family, she has succeeded.
I'd like to thank God for blessing me with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, my parents for supporting me, my teachers, my principal, my director from the New Guyana School, my grandparents for praying and encouraging me, and my uncle Raymond.
Her mother said she's overwhelmed with joy and extremely proud of her daughter. In the seventh spot are Asira Khan and Emma Calawan with 486.13 marks, and they were followed by 9 students who all gained 486.09 marks. They are Axela Vera of the Covent Garden Primary, Safira Sheriff of the New Sapadilla School of Excellence, Kathy Budan of Success Elementary School, Coley Daniel of the New Guyana School, Niall Williams of the North Georgetown Primary School, Sarah De Freitas of Stella Maris, Zayad Mohammed of CV News Primary, Caleb Prasad of Mace Primary, and Rashini Sicharan of CV News Primary. 11-year-old Rashini Sicharan told News Source that she's happy to be among the top performers. She said she would like to become an entrepreneur. Another top performer, Niall Williams, said he is more than elated.
It makes me feel elated and very excited.
How was studying?
Well, I studied very assiduously by working over past papers, doing practice tests, and doing the quiz me site.
His parents said they were long days and late nights, but they prioritized his rest. They said Niall put in the hard work, and they were confident that he would have done well and would have placed among the top students. A total of 17 students secured the top positions. Still with the NGSA exam results, President Irfan Ali has urged parents and the society at large not to put pressure on those children who might not have excelled at this year's National Grade 6 assessment, declaring today that the exam results should not be seen as a defining moment in the future of the children. In a recorded video moments after the release of the results, the president offered a message to those who might be disappointed.
This is not an exam to determine who is better than who. This is an exam that is administered at a very early stage in your life. Do not use this as a basis on which you determine your future. To all the parents, I know we all want the best and have the greatest expectations from our children. But our role is to nurture our children and to let them understand that life is a continuous journey. That in life, there are moments of immense accomplishment. There are moments of disappointment.
President Ali said all students, those who did well and those who didn't do as well, must be reassured of the support that they will receive in the next chapter of their school lives. He said the government will ensure that children who are more inclined to technical and vocational learning are afforded that opportunity.
Of course, we must congratulate all our children, especially those who did exceptionally well, and those who might have been disappointed, or those who might have wanted to be somewhere else. You have so much time ahead of you, and we as a government are going to invest to ensure that the quality of education at the best school in your head is the same quality that is at every school across our country.
With the country recording its best NGSA performance in recent years, the president said the results show the hard work which is being done by his administration to improve the pass rate. However, he noted that each child must know that they have an equal stake in the country's development.
I'm very proud of this tremendous improvement in every subject area. It tells you that our investment is giving the results we want. It tells you that our capability and capacity is improving. But today is not about that. This message is not about that. This message is about our children, all our children who sat this exam. I want all of you to know that you are equally loved. I want all of you to know that all of you equally have an important stake in this future of our country.
The government has been making big investments in the education sector and intends to expand that investment. Opposition and PNC Reform leader Aubrey Norton this afternoon congratulated all students who wrote this year's National Grade 6 Assessment Examinations. But he also noted while some students did extremely well, there are scores of students who could have performed better if better systems were in place at some schools. Mr. Norton said there needs to be a ground-up approach to ensure that more students are able to matriculate at the NGSA level.
While we are happy that a small percentage did extremely well, we're concerned that our education system is not delivering high-quality education across all schools so that all our children can matriculate.
According to the opposition leader, his party, if elected to government, will place emphasis on human resource development from an early age.
We intend to start by establishing a network of early childhood education systems so that our children can be nurtured from a very tender age into becoming useful citizens who can contribute at different levels in the Guyanese society.
Mr. Norton said the education system by its design has historically failed many children, which has led to a high level of illiteracy and a lack of numeracy skills in the society. To this end, he said an APNU government will initiate a national literacy program with the aim of helping those students who the system might have failed.
The APNU believes that one way to contribute to the development of the education system is to ensure our teachers have a livable income. We guarantee them a livable income, an income that is no less than $200,000 per month, like we are guaranteed other public servants.
And to further boost the morale of teachers and children, the opposition leader said his party is guaranteeing, among other things, to establish a national schools transportation system, cash transfers for children, as well as put a policy in place for smaller classrooms to increase performance.
You've asked for it, and it's here. Ronald Hollingsworth, till I find a place in Guyana too. The Spanish baby.
That's it! You come and shut this baby up, yeah? This is scraping baby you got in, y'all.
See, ever since this baby born, you ain't take over, feeder, or nothing. What kind of father is you?
It's Godfather. This is what kind of father I be.
June 28 and 29, 8 p.m. at the National Cultural Center.
The baby could never be me own. You got to take the baby and carry it to the father.
Tickets Tickets $3,000 and $2,500. Directed by Sharon Cadogan Taylor and Ronald Hollingsworth. Till I find a place in Guyana too. The Spanish Baby.
Sponsored by Sylvie's Industrial Solutions, Camley's Academy, and the Ministry of Natural Resources.
A nation united for one powerful night of praise and worship. It's the One Guyana Worship Experience. Monday, July 7th, CARICOM Day at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence, starting from 6 p.m. Join us for an unforgettable evening featuring international award-winning gospel ministers Chandler Moore, Todd Dulaney, Samuel Midas, Renwick Dewsbury. Out of Jamaica, the viral sensation, Prince Saj, also ministering. Faith Kurika, Cheryl Maloney, Timothy Roberts, Apostle Sean Sobers, Miriam Williams, Joshua Joe, and many more. The One Guyana Worship Experience, Monday, July 7th at the National Stadium. Admission is absolutely free, but you must secure your passes through your local churches, online, and designated outlets across the country. One nation, one people, one worship. The One Guyana Worship Experience. Don't miss it.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say wash your soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash your soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash your soap powder, leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks for wash your soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have me clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Wash your soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash your soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash your soap powder, have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Starbrook Market.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, SR Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Medas, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D,
Timothy Roberts,
and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate, and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
Mavaruma, get ready! The event of the summer, the official Mavaruma All Black Party, goes down on Saturday, July 5th at Mavaruma Settlement Ground. Come see live performances by Lola Doll,
Like talk to me, needs them.
Omaya Hall,
Tell everybody, this is a break.
Calvin Burnett, and Lil Million.
This one that for all the woman them will like little boys.
Music by Selector Andre. And Power King Sound System. Admission $5,000. Witness X Factor Dance Group Ignite the Stage. Remember, dress to impress. It's all happening on July 5th. The official Mavaruma All Black Party.
Well, 3 years after police SWAT officer Sherwin Peters was charged with manslaughter over the shooting death of Essequibo Coast businessman Orrin Boston, he has been found guilty of the crime. The guilty verdict was handed down today in the Essequibo High Court on the completion of the trial. The policeman, who is originally from Linden, will be sentenced on the 10th of July. Businessman Orrin Boston was in his home sleeping on the 15th of September 2021 when a group of SWAT unit officers who had been dispatched to the region barged into his house, and one of them opened fire on the businessman in his bed. The police claimed that the SWAT team was on a search for prohibited items, but there was nothing illegal found in the man's house. The shooting death led to national outrage at the time and saw the government dispatching ministers and senior police officers to the community of Dartmouth to quell the protests with a promise of a thorough investigation. The decision to charge the police officer Sherwin Peters for manslaughter followed the advice of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The advice came after almost 4 months of investigations by the Force's Office of Professional Responsibility and the Police Complaints Authority. 2 weeks after her brutal murder, the daughter and son-in-law of 46-year-old Jenny Mohammed were yesterday charged and remanded to jail for her murder. Appearing before Magistrate Sunil Scarce at the Vigilance Magistrates Court, 23-year-old Safia Mohammed and her 24-year-old reputed husband Austin Ramchan were not required to enter a plea after the murder charge were read to them. They are accused of brutally murdering Jenny Mohammed on the 10th of June. The two were remanded to jail until the 4th of August, when the matter will be called again. The dead woman's husband was initially held for questioning, but he was later released without being charged. The man had told investigators that he last saw his wife alive on the morning of the 10th of June when he left for work. He reported that on the previous night, his wife and her daughter were involved in an argument, and she had ordered the daughter and the daughter's husband to move out of the house by the following day. It is suspected that once Jenny Mohammed's husband left for work on the morning of the 10th of June, an argument was reignited between the woman, her daughter, and the daughter's husband. The 46-year-old woman was reported missing 2 days later, and her body was discovered wrapped in garbage bags and dumped along the New Eccles roadway 8 days later. The body bore multiple stab wounds and other marks of violence, and the police said the daughter and her husband allegedly admitted to the crime after bloodstains were discovered in parts of the house. The woman was strangled and stabbed to death, and her body later removed from the home and dumped along the roadway, which is located several miles away from the Nonpareil East Coast Demerara home where she lived. Well, Chairman of the National Tushau's Council, Tushau Derek John, and leader of the Liberty and Justice Party, Lennox Schumann, have written to the Guyana Elections Commission, objecting to the use of the jaguar as a political symbol for the recently formed We Invest in Nationhood political party, which is headed by billionaire businessman Azraddin Mohammed. In a letter seen by news source, the NTC chairman expressed concern over the use of what he called indigenous symbols and imagery by political parties ahead of the upcoming elections. He said the cultural symbols of indigenous peoples hold deep spiritual and traditional significance. Their use in political campaigns without proper context or consent risk misrepresentation and may inadvertently create division within the indigenous communities, the NTC chairman said. Tushau John told the Elections Commission that the use of the jaguar by a political party is an offensive desecration of one of their sacred symbols. Citing Articles 5 and 31 of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, the NTC chairman said that the use of the jaguar as a political symbol is a breach of indigenous rights. Article 31 states that indigenous peoples have the right to maintain, control, protect, and develop their cultural heritage, traditional knowledge, and traditional cultural expressions. The chairman of the National Tushau's Council also cited Article 149 of the Guyana Constitution, which also addresses indigenous rights to protection, preservation, and promulgation of their languages, cultural heritage, and way of life. It was noted further that the Arawa translated from Arawak to English is jaguar and has been the symbol of the Arawakan people and the Arawakan nation. Additionally, it was pointed out that the jaguar is also prominently placed on the coat of arms of Guyana, along with the cacique crown and the Kanji peasant. He urged the Commission to permanently strike off the use of indigenous symbols by any political party. The NTC's letter was also copied to the Minister of Amerindian Affairs, Pauline Sukai. News Source was also informed that the leader of the Liberty and Justice Party, Lennox Schumann, also shared similar sentiments in his objection. Last week, the chairman of the National Parks Commission and Foreign Secretary Robert Posada objected to the use of the jaguar as a political party symbol, claiming that it is a national symbol. WIN is among 24 political parties that have submitted symbols to the Elections Commission for its stamp of approval ahead of nomination day, which is set for the 14th of July. The Elections Commission is expected to discuss the letters of objection and is scheduled to consider and approve the symbols received on the 1st of July.
Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men, but early detection can save lives. So, who needs to be screened? If you're 50 or older, it's time to talk to your doctor about screening. But some men need to start even earlier. Your risk is higher if you have a family history of prostate cancer. Screening may be recommended as early as 40 years. Screening is quick and can include a PSA blood test or a simple exam. It's the first step in catching prostate cancer early, when it's most treatable. Don't wait. If you're at risk, get screened. Because taking care of your health means being there for the moments that matter most. Screen early, live fully.
When the night has come and the land is dark.
Somebody in a happy mood.
Yes, Pujilu, because Ban's birthday coming up and I gonna be present.
Last year your friend them been.
And you won't like that?
If me and you ain't go together this year, things gonna be dark, really dark.
Let's celebrate the band's birthday on Saturday, 28th of June at the National Park with 9 one-man bands and Granny Ivy.
Big birthday!
Early bird tickets for $2,000. Stage front, $5,000. Tickets located at Just Your Size Boutique, Stovetop, White Castle Fish Shop, Fireside Suites, and Team Extra Stabrook Market. Band's birthday 2025, June 28th at the National Park. Gates open from 6 p.m. and free gate upon entry.
Ooh, la, la, la. Let's go dancing.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for days, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice of my drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. The seizure of more than 1,600 kilograms of cocaine worth US $25 million in Portugal was due to security cooperation between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States, according to the U.S. Embassy. In a news release Tuesday, the embassy stated that on June 14, security cooperation between the United States and Trinidad and Tobago resulted in the seizure of 1,660 kilograms of cocaine, worth US $25 million in Portugal, and the arrest of 3 foreign nationals. It stated further that for several months, agents from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration DEA, based at the U.S. Embassy in Port of Spain, and officers from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service TTPS vetted unit, the Transnational Organized Crime Unit, and the Seaport Cooperation Project (SEACOP) worked a bilateral maritime narcotics trafficking case together. Nigeria and Brazil signed a $1 billion agreement on Tuesday to boost agriculture, food security, energy, and defense in the West African nation, Nigeria's vice president said. Both countries aim to deploy over $1 billion to deliver mechanized farming equipment, training, and service centers across Nigeria, the vice president said in a statement posted on X. Much farming in Nigeria is subsistence, and land is owned by families or individuals, which makes large-scale acquisition problematic. Nigeria also imports food for its 200 million plus people. The agreements were signed during a visit by Brazil's vice president to Africa's most populous nation. The Nigerian vice president told his Brazilian counterpart that reforms embarked by both countries have helped reshape Nigeria's economy. Nigeria is targeting a $1 trillion economy by 2030, with reforms to agriculture, energy, education, and public finance. The country has also asked banks to recapitalize to attract foreign investments. And finally tonight, international news. NATO leaders on Wednesday backed the big increase in defense spending that U.S. President Donald Trump had demanded and restated their commitment to defend each other from attack. While Trump got what he wanted at the brief summit, tailor-made for him, his NATO allies will be relieved that he committed to the fundamental principle of collective defense after less clear-cut language on Tuesday. In a 5-point statement, NATO endorsed a higher defense spending goal of 5% of GDP by 2035, a response not only to Trump but also to Europeans' fear that Russia poses a growing threat to their security following the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. The 32 allies' brief communique added, and I quote, "We affirm our ironclad commitment to collective defense as enshrined in Article 5 of the Washington Treaty, that an attack on one is an attack on all," end of quote. Asked to clarify his own stance on Article 5, Trump said, and I quote, "I stand with it. That's why I'm here. If I didn't stand with it, I wouldn't be here," end of quote. Trump had long demanded, in no uncertain terms, for other countries to step up their spending on defense to reduce NATO's heavy reliance on the U.S. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.